What's up, Sonic Gamer Nation? Today we're showing up fashionably late to cover this piece of Sonic news, and that is the Sonic Superstars prologue animation Trio of Trouble. So let me start off with just all the things I like. This is incredible. I'm gonna drop a little take here. I think this is better than the Mania opening, and I mean that 100%, 1000%. And I really do mean that. It is just truly incredible. Like, it really is. It just knocks it out of the park. Now, it surely isn't perfect. There's a couple criticisms I have with it, but I just kind of want to talk about it in general first. What's strange to me is that this animation looks so much better than the actual opening animation we got. Don't get me wrong, that opening, I still think it looks pretty good, but that opening animation had like a lot of animation errors, like genuine ones, not like small little like human error. Like some of these frames were really weird and they did not line up well, like proportions of inanimate objects like the tornado would just change randomly. There was a lot of genuine mistakes made in this animation, but stuff like that just simply isn't found in this new one. But I truly can't directly compare these animations because they were not made by the same team. If you didn't know, that intro animation was made by a team in Japan, but this was made by Powerhouse Studios in the USA. Putting my patriotism aside, Powerhouse has always just flipping delivered with everything they do. I mean, it's just top-notch quality. And of course, if you want to make a high-quality Sonic animation, you gotta get Evan Stanley and Tyson Hess on a team, because if you do, it's just gonna be goated. It's just guaranteed at this point. So now that I'm done gushing about the concept of this animation, let's actually get into it. So we start off in this like old, cracked up Coliseum kind of area. It's kind of a strange environment, and I'm pretty sure this is meant to be one of the zones in the game. I'm not sure, but whatever. This takes place in this really cool looking area, and all the gang shows up, and they are here to fight Fang. It may be a 4v1, but I'd say Fang still got some hands because he pulls up with the missiles and everything. Just as a little like side note, I love this flipping thing he chills in. Like, he's got his little cart that he kind of drives around in. Like, I don't know, that's so cool to me. And then we get this awesome fight scene of them just kind of bullying Fang in a way. Something I do really like, though, is the way that everything is choreographed in this bit. Like, everyone feels so mobile. Like, no one feels like they're just standing around doing it. Like, everything feels so animated, like truly animated, which is cool to me. There is genuinely nothing lifeless about this animation, which is just always cool. And then the way to cap off this section is that everyone becomes evil, bro. Like, Amy pulls up with the hammer, flipping, bonks him in the head, and then it cuts to Fang waking up. So then Fang wakes up, and we get to see this trio of trouble. I know you're dying laughing at that. So they're exploring this cool cave thing. They manage to go through these little passages. They avoid some traps. Then they make it into this big room, and Eggman notices this big old mural on the wall. And truthfully, I know a lot of people have been trying to dissect this and figure out what it means. I'm kind of stupid, and I don't really know what it means. The only thing that I noticed is that everything is colored, which I assumed would represent the emeralds. And then you see a lot of drawings of characters that look really similar to Trip. And this has kind of got me wondering, are they going to pull a Knuckles with Trip, where it's like there's this ancient thing and then Trip is the last of them or something? I'm not really sure what the lore implications of this is, but it's definitely something to not just brush over. And truthfully, that's kind of all I could get from this. I wonder if there's more you're supposed to notice, or if truthfully it's just kind of a bunch of cool funky shapes that kind of just mean those two things. So that cryptic image aside, we cut back to Fang, and he actually has this whole duel with a snake, and he actually uses the knowledge from his dream to defeat the snake, which is really cool. So then Eggman gives us a whole menacing shot, and then that's kind of it. It kind of cuts off. And while this animation is, like I said, it's top-notch stuff, I'm gonna be honest, after that dream sequence, or after the beginning bit, I'm gonna be honest, it kind of falls off. Because I mentioned earlier that beginning sequence, Everyone felt so animated and nothing felt like stale is kind of what my point was. But this second half feels a little bit less lively. It's kind of lifeless in a way. And I don't mean that in like oh, it's truly lively. It's more leaning that way in comparison to the opening bit. It doesn't have near as much energy. Even in the fight scene, it still doesn't feel quite as lively. And not just in the way as, oh, how much is happening. Just, it feels genuinely less interesting. But yeah, that's so frustrating because the animation quality stays top notch. It never goes down. But it feels like the scenes that are being portrayed just kind of get less and less interesting as you go on. So one last thing I want to bring up. In my video talking about the intro animation for this game, I said that the music slapped, and it truly did. That was some awesome music by T-Lopes and Jun Sonoe. But the music is definitely the worst part of this animation. It feels really dry. I don't know. In comparison to what we heard in that intro, it is pretty weak. I know that the music in this definitely wasn't Sega's biggest priority, but in comparison with the quality of the other animation music, the music of the game, and the quality of this animation in general, this is definitely the weakest part, the music. And it's such a shame to see that we have an animation that is just really top-notch, but we just don't got music that lives up to that standard, and it kind of brings the experience down a little when you're watching it. It definitely doesn't ruin anything at all, don't twist my words, but when I'm watching it, it feels a little bit less impactful because the music just doesn't really hit. So, there we have it. This animation was incredible. It may not be perfect, but it was still very, very good. And it has brought my hype for Superstars to just newfound levels. I'm so excited for this game, and I just can't wait to play it, man. So yeah, please tell me what your thoughts are on this animation. What do you think about Superstars as it stands right now? What are your thoughts on this game? Like, just anything related to Superstars, because I would love to hear your opinions. And so, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!